Now I know it's been a long time since my last video, but as always, it's been a lot going on. Now, I know we ended growing up with toxic family at part 25, but we're not done. We ended my toxic, narcissistic, psychotic wife at part 7, but we're not done. Understand something, if you haven't noticed already, both of those series actually ties in together. It's just taking us from one point, bringing us up to today. Okay? Now, before we continue on with that, it's something else that's been weighing on me that we really need to talk about. Now, one of the biggest problems that we have today, and it's not talked about enough, is depression. Do you know that 21 million adults in this country alone suffer from depression every year? The problem that comes with this is that when we see somebody going through a depression, we don't even recognize it. We don't understand it. And the reason I say that is the first thing that we do is we start talking about it. Oh yeah, I've seen this so many times over the years. Numerous people suffering from depression. Everybody around them don't understand it. So they sitting around talking about it. Oh yeah. See, what is signs of depression? Many people don't even know. The first thing that happens is they start losing interest in whatever it is they're doing. Everyday life things. Work. Whatever their grind is. Work, business, side hustles, whatever it is, they start losing interest. You see, many people I've seen with jobs, they start calling off day after day after day. Some people end up losing their job or just quitting altogether, depending on how bad the depression is. I've seen people with businesses that's doing well, and all of a sudden the business starts slowing down. Why? Is it because business is bad? No. They going through a depression. And they losing interest. See, they ain't got the willpower. They ain't got that grind in them no more because depression is taking over. So when they ain't got that grind to go get the money no more, they start going through a financial situation. Some people, when the money stop coming in, they living off of their savings. Sometimes it's weeks, months, even years. But see, it ain't just the work. It's everything about whatever their life was has been disrupted. If they like to cook, they ain't cooking no more. You may have people who good at working on cars, good at working on houses. They ain't doing it no more. And anybody that is, what happens? Because they done lost their willpower. They done lost their grind. They just going through the motions. So the money ain't flowing no more. They just there going through the motions. You see, they don't understand what they're going through many times. They just know they trying to go to work. They trying to keep on their grind. But they just ain't there. But then many cases, one of the things that happens is they start to not care about their appearance. Sometimes you'll see people who every day they was dressed to impress. Sometimes they just dress normal, but they decent. And now they going through depression, you seeing them. Their hair ain't did. The clothes they wearing, sometimes mixed-match, wrinkled up, shoes is old. They don't care. Many times they fall off from their hygiene. They're not bathing every day. But it don't stop there. You can see somebody always keep their cars clean. And all of a sudden now they're going through this. Car ain't been to the car wash in months. You go to their house, and the house was always decent. Some people, the house could have been immaculate. Now, floors ain't been swept and mopped. The carpet ain't been vacuumed. Ain't been clean. Kitchen ain't been clean. The whole house sometimes look like a tornado done hit it. But they don't understand many times what they even going through. They just know that they just can't do nothing right now. But what happens is you have people close to them, been knowing their whole life, come around them and see them going through this. And what they doing? Look at how they dress. Oh, look at their car, man. Ain't been clean. Look at their house. The house a wreck. They trifling. And we go run. Tell everybody that they know how low down they is, how trifling they are, how nasty they are. They ain't took no bath. How bad they clothes looking. How they ain't going to work no more. They ain't making no money. This is what we do. You see, and we don't just go and tell somebody this. We turn it into world news. We put it out there, make it go viral. You see, but it's going viral from our mouth on the phone telling everybody and everybody we see about what they going through. You see, and when you go tell somebody, you may tell 4, 5, 6 people. Now it's the talk amongst everybody about what they're going through. Ain't nobody talking about they going through a depression. They just talking about how they look. They ain't working. How their house look, how their car look. And now you look up 10, 12, 15 different people all talking about this person going through a depression, but don't nobody know it because ain't nobody paying no attention. And because what happened, you see, so what happens is that everybody's running around talking about this person and they ain't looking at them like they actually doing something wrong. So the person going through the depression, they know this. They see this. So what they start doing is staying away from everybody. They stay at home. In their own lane, ain't bothering nobody. Trying to deal with what they going through on their own. Now I've talked to many people over the years dealing with depression, and many of them had the same story about people they know their whole life, friends and family, in the way that they treat them while they going through this depression. Now, this is not everybody, but it happens in so many cases. Now they're at home, sometimes it's days, sometimes weeks, sometimes months. I've even seen depression go for years. Now, they stand away from everybody. And then one day they get invited to a family get-together. So since they've been at home, staying away so long, they feel like, well, maybe they need to get out and be around some people, talk to some people. And they go. Well, when they go, they get themselves together best they could, because they're going through this. So they get dressed, go to the thing, and it's always the same. You have the people who done heard about what they going through, and they not thinking nothing about that. All they see is family. They going through something. They really don't know what it is, and they showing them love and interacting with them like ain't no problem. But what happens is, because you have so many people with this toxic, narcissistic mind state, they've been hearing all the stories about them. You see, about their clothes and their house and what they doing and ain't doing. So they come around and they got this mentality that they don't want to deal with them. You see, they don't want to talk to them. They may speak and they going to keep going. And they be looking at them funny. They got this bad vibe about themselves. But okay, the person ain't even thinking about them. But you had other people that come and being real friendly, right? Talking to them, interacting with them. But because they done heard so many stories about them, they got this real bad vibe about themselves. You see what I'm saying? And see, because their mind is so weak, all the negative stories they done heard about this person, they can't help themselves. They gotta say something. You see, so they always throw something out there. They ain't saying nothing to the person, but they just throwing it out so the person to hear it amongst other people. You see, they throwing jabs like they doing something because of what they heard about what this person is going through. But then you got these other people that come around and they done heard the stories and they done advertised and told everybody else about what they heard. Now they really don't even know. They just heard it from somewhere else, but they don't care. They telling everybody about how no good this person is, how sorry they is, how nasty they is. All the stories they done heard. They don't know. But now they got a problem with the person because of what they going through. So when they come around, they feel like they can say something to the person. Again, the person ain't did nothing to them. It's all based on what they heard about him. That's it. And they say something slick out the mouth to them, and then if the person ain't the bigger person and look over it and say something back to them, then all of a sudden they act like they ain't did nothing. But see, the reason is because they ain't been around. So they've been around everybody. And they've been talking about the person to everybody over and over again. So they feel like everybody is riding with them against this person that ain't been around who going through a depression. So they feel like they bad. They can say something. Old people, man, they used to have some great sayings when I was growing up. Old people used to say, never kick someone when they're down. A person that's going through a depression, it is a form of mental illness. They're down. And here you come with your ignorant mind, you gonna step on them and stick your chest out like you done something. Then when they respond, all of a sudden, they the one that's wrong. You know, I noticed that so many people that I've seen do this, in their mind, they really believe they have done no wrong by speaking bad about somebody that's going through something. Now, here's the thing about it. I come across an article about a year ago. It was an article from doctors and psychologists. They were speaking about the effects of verbal abuse. They said that verbal abuse is many times just as bad, if not worse, in many cases, as physical abuse. So here it is, you got somebody dealing with depression already. And here you come taking shots at them. See, when they're in this depressive state and going through that, and you take shots at them, it's like you done smacked them upside the head. And you don't understand that. Because you walk around like you done something when you're doing this. I've seen it many times. So now, you got this person going through this, trying to go be around family and friends and whatnot, and this is what they had to face. So now, when they go back home, which many of them I've seen, when they going through depression, they stand in the house. If they're in the house with other people, they stand in their bedroom. Many of the women I've seen going through depression be in the bed all day. I've seen men going through depression. And with the men, I notice it'd be a little different because they'll have one place in the house, whether it be the dining room, living room, basement, and that's where they're at every single day, most of the time in the exact same spot. I've seen it. So now, after dealing with this with family, they go home and now they got to go and deal with what they've been dealing with all this time, but now they got to deal with everything that just happened. You see? Because what's going through many of their minds and what they done told me is that they don't understand why family is attacking them because of something they're going through. They ain't did nothing to nobody. They trying to deal and sort out what's going on in their mind. But then they got all these people they done known all their lives, both friend and family, coming at them based on the things that they going through. They don't need nobody to tell them they ain't cleaning their car. They don't need nobody to tell them they ain't getting their hair done. They ain't putting on the best clothes no more. They don't need nobody to tell them that because they know. They just don't understand that they can't get up out of this for some reason. But this is what we do. Over and over again. Non-stop. Every time I've seen somebody going through depression, it's always seeing people close to them sitting around talking about it. Now, over the past year, maybe a year and a half, I've seen 6 people in our family dealing with depression. And not one person even recognized it. Let me tell you something. It was the same scenario that I've seen over and over again, people just sitting around talking about it. Look, they ain't this, they ain't that. Look at them, they lazy, they trifling. Oh, they not doing this, they not doing that. Constantly. People all ages doing this to them instead of paying attention to what's going on with them. Listen, man, we don't even understand how serious this situation is when somebody is going through a depression. Yeah, sometimes the cases is not as bad as others. But when it really get bad, do you know, I read an article today. It said that 875,000 people lose their lives from complications around depression. That's a wide range of things when you think about it. It's many people be so depressed they commit suicide. There's people be so depressed they start using drugs. Listen, man. Not long ago, like I said, in the past year and a half, I had a family member come to me and they was telling me about another family member that I had heard many stories about over the years. A lot of people, again, talking about them behind their back. Same story. Now, this time, when this family member is telling me, I'm listening. And they're describing all these things about this family member. All the same stuff. They hygiene, they clothes, they not working, they not doing anything, they sitting around. All they want to do is smoke all day. Once again, smoking, drinking, doing drugs. I've seen people go through depressions and they ain't never smoked in their life. And now they smoking. Some people never drinking in their life, never had a drink, and now they drinking because they going through this depression. I've seen people who do smoke and drink, but now they doing it real heavy that they going through this depression. I've seen people never did hard drugs in their life, and all of a sudden they're on drugs because of this depression. Now, when the family member got done giving me all these details about the problem that he had because of what they going through, I said, hey, listen, you're not paying attention. Everything that you're describing is signs of depression. Think about it. I said, look, they have been having a financial issue for a while, okay? They had problems with housing. They had problems with their car over and over again. And everything you're describing about their hygiene, them laying around not wanting to do anything. All they doing is smoking all the time. All of these are signs of depression. And when I broke it down and began to explain it to him and let him help him to understand what he's seeing, it's not who they are. See, when you're in a depressive state, you're not yourself. And you don't understand it many times. People going through this and they don't know what's wrong. And I said, listen, if you're going to help the person, you can help them. But if you're not, don't sit around talking about them because it makes it all worse. You see, they'll figure it out on their own if you leave them alone. But if you family and you constantly talking about them, bad-mouthing them, putting them out there, telling everybody about them, it makes it worse on them. And he understood that. Then I had another situation. Not long after that, family member come to me and he's talking about what's going on in his relationship, how it's always an argument all the time. And he goes on to say the person that he's in a relationship with, all they want to do is smoke and drink all the time. And he don't understand why they start doing this like this. And I said, hey, how long this been going on? He said, about a year. I said, well, okay, tell me this. Tell me something that happened right before this situation started a year ago. And he thought about it. He said they lost somebody close to them, passed away. I said, there it is. Because many times people lose somebody close to them and they don't know how to deal with it and they fall into a depression. And this is why you said all they want to do is smoke and drink real heavy now. They're trying to cope and deal with the depression that they're going through. I said right now, they need you more than ever. I said, don't argue with them. What you do is you just start being there for them and really talk to them. Comfort them. Try to uplift them and help them understand that everything is going to be all right. And when I talked to him again, he told me everything was going good. Now, we had another situation. Same situation, just like that one. Family member in a relationship with somebody. They lost somebody close to them. It sent them into a depression. It had been going on for about a year. Now, once again, like many other times, nobody's paying attention. Many people are bad-mouthing them, talking about them. They trying to get away, be on their own somewhere, trying to deal with their situation, okay? I get a phone call late one night, and the family member on the phone, he telling me, I need you to calm down. I didn't know what he needed me for, but I can hear the desperation in his voice. And I asked him, where you need me at? I'm coming. Do you know? That night, we had to stand outside and watch them carry this young woman's body out the house. She was unalive. Wasn't even 30 years old. Life over with. Behind depression. You know, the problem with us, man, is that things is never a problem until it is a problem. Nobody wants to analyze, look at, and understand things that's going on around us every day. We got millions of people suffering depression every year. And instead of us looking at this, we sitting around here in our ignorant mentality, pointing a finger at them and talking about them, bad-mouthing them, pushing them further into depression. Till something like this happens. We got family right now dealing with depression. Because so much been going on. Ain't nobody paying no attention. Nobody. Same as always, people sitting around talking about them. Not paying attention. Not depression. Don't know nothing about it. You know. It's so sad, man, when you look at this stuff and really analyze it and see what's going on every single day. You know, see, the problem is people sitting around talking about it to me. what somebody going through. Oh, they ain't got no money. Oh, they doing bad. They going through a rough time. You know? And I get it. But see, why what they going through, why that got to be something you talking about? Think about it. I mean, we ain't talking about children here. We talking about people 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. It's always that age bracket. When you really sit down and think about this, man, the things that we talking about is little kid stuff. Seriously, think about this. When we was in elementary school, it would always be children who didn't have the nice clothes like other children. They didn't come to school with the greased up faces and the haircuts, you know. Little girls with the hair braided. The kids that wasn't doing so good didn't come to school like that. And the other children did what? They sit around talking about them, teasing them many times. Because they didn't have an understanding that their family probably wasn't doing so good. Nobody knew their situation. But they was kids. You expect that from children. So why, at 30, 40, 50, 60, do people still do this? You sitting around acting like a bunch of children when somebody is suffering. See, here's my problem with this situation. Is that this person that people talking about now is the same person that I watch for 3, 4 years in a row. People call their phone. They need $20. They need $50. They ain't got food at home. They ain't got gas money. Their car need fixing and they ain't got the money to do it. This person done it for them. Got it fixed. Bought the parts, paid for the labor. Got it done. For anybody that needed a car, he got them a car. Numerous people. Some people 2 and 3 cars. Because that's one of the things he was doing, was buying and selling cars, so he always had cars. And anytime somebody needed it, he was there. He got them. Numerous people. People needed a place to stay. He always got them, no matter who it was. He had many people let him stay in his house. Other people, he helped them buy houses. He bought houses for people. But many people, he gave them houses to live in, free of charge. He did this for years. I watched it over and over again. All these people coming at him in need. He never turned people down. Whatever it was. But here it is now. Some of the same people. He going through a depression. He don't know it. But I talked to him one day and told him, you're going through it. You just don't know it. You see? But how you think he feel after helping all these people that now some of them is sitting around bad-mouthing him? They talking about him. You see? Because he ain't doing the things that he used to could do for people. You see? How you think he feel going through a depression? See, you really don't see or understand what he's going through. But see, I do. Because the drive to get out here and grind is not there. See, he still got a lot of stuff. cars, houses, all kind of everything he was doing, he still got. But the drive is not there right now. You see, because again, this is what the depression does. It takes away that grind to get out here and go get it. But people talking about him. People ducking his phone calls. He asked people to do little things, wasn't going to cost him nothing. And they refused. Duck his phone calls. See, let me tell you something. The biggest problem I have with all this is because we put so much focus on talking bad about people that we know and interact with and known our whole life. Instead of looking at a situation somebody is going through, all you got to do is not say nothing at all because somebody going through a rough time. If you don't say nothing good, don't say nothing at all. Let them deal with it, But this is the problem with us. It's like you see somebody going through something, you got to say something negative about them. But see, you don't understand. You don't understand when you're in this toxic, narcissistic, psychotic mentality. You don't understand that a person that's down, baby, let me tell you, it is a minor setback for a major comeback. But you don't know nothing about that. Because when you in this little weak mind of yours, you ain't never seen it. You ain't never done it. So anybody you see down, you think they gonna stay there. So here you come with your chest out, talking about them. Listen, we gotta move past this. Depression is a real situation. And we really need to get deeper into it to get a better understanding of the things going on around us every single day. But we need to move on and get these series done. We on part 8 of my toxic narcissistic ex-wife. We're going to go and finish that up, which again, like I said, it ties in with growing up with toxic family. And we're going to roll on and get this done, bring it up to the day, and then we can move on to many other topics and subjects that we need to really discuss. Stay tuned.